Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Zero Hours with me, Mikey Brown here. Well, it's been a while since I've been on here. A lot of stuff going on, but I just haven't felt the urge to get on here. I think it's the fear of being too wound up, maybe. I don't know, but today I'll talk about a couple different things, but they finally went and did it. They finally went and done everything that me as a normal tax-paying American citizen had feared, at least conservative, I guess. The stimmies. The stimmies are in some people's bank accounts. At least if you're eligible. I think a lot of people have theirs already, and $1,400 COVID relief for everybody. It's just tough because I don't want to see anybody struggle, and I don't want to struggle, of course. And COVID's caused a lot of disheartened people and pain and suffering and death but why, once again, with all the fluff. I mean, like 10% of this thing, I think they said 9% or whatever, of this so-called relief fund, relief bill, whatever they want to call it, actually went for the American people with this $1,400. I mean, you take the amount of money we spent and you divide it by the same amount of people, it's like $6,000. So the other $4,400, $4,600 that everybody shoulda, coulda, woulda got are going to Pakistan for gender studies. They're going to clean up Nancy Pelosi's pigsty fucking district in San Francisco. It goes to balance Chucky Schumer's budget in New York of the wayward spending they've had there. It goes to Egypt. It goes to the Smithsonian. It goes. Just crazy shit in a bill that doesn't belong there. And they slid some other, like the HR1. They slid that sucker in there. So now 16 and 17-year-olds can vote. Illegals can vote. You don't need a ID. I mean, it just people are just blind. They're blinded to this stuff, and it's so you don't have to have an ID to vote anymore. Can I vote 30 times? Well, if I go 30 different places, I guess I can. I guess that's what the conservatives will have to do to make the level playing field is get shitty, get creative, get crafty, kind of like the lefties did, and yeah, it's a disaster. It really is. It's nothing good with this stimulus thing, other than $1,400. I mean, I gotta pay $5,000 in taxes to pay for this thing to get $1,400. That's Common Core math. Maybe it works out, but regular old math, I'm just getting fucked, just like you, if you pay taxes. Now the do-nothings and the stay-at-homers that want to do absolutely nothing with their life, they're getting off good. A couple. Say you got a couple. You're a single mom, got a couple kids. You walked away with $4,200, and you still collect off the government. It's a game to some people, and I guess I'm going to be paying the price. And that's one thing I always said. Once it starts me having to pay the bill, is when I lose my tolerance for this stuff. Speaking of that. Losing tolerance for stuff, it's down to, I've talked about this I don't know how many times, the transgender thing. Now the government's Biden and his cronies have come out with this idea that they'll help pay for transgenders and for military. they'll help pay for it. So the one thing that I said I didn't want to deal with is paying the bill for shit. And here we are. They done went and did it. I'm going to be paying taxes for somebody that can't, be happy with what they are, and they're going to get it for free. It just doesn't seem right to me. And like I said, I've said this every time just about that I've done one of these. I don't have a problem with whatever you want to be, as long as I'm not paying the bill for it. Now I'm paying the bill for it. So, yeah, I'm fucking pissed. It's ridiculous. Then it's like, you going to give me weight loss surgery? Can I go get weight loss surgery for free? With working? No, they said, well, you got to run it through your insurance. You'd have, you have to go through the steps. You got to do this and that. Well, if I was sitting on my ass doing nothing and collecting government money, they'd just give it to me for free. Or if I know there's a lot more to it, but any kind of me paying the bill for transgender studies or transgender assignment surgeries, any of that stuff, and I'm going to get pissed. And I am pissed. And there's this fucking idiot with the loud car. Yeah, I know, I'm getting sick of this. But yeah, that's a couple of things I wanted to rant about. Just having to pay, digging in my pocket. Trying to figure out a retirement plan. Worked 35 years of my life already, and doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to quit anytime soon. But if I just wanted to sit at home and get paid and mediocre live and not have any sense of accomplishment for doing anything but sitting on my dead ass, well, I guess I could do that, but that's not my agenda. I don't believe it's the American way of doing things, but the American way of doing things have become libtarded, and sadly, it's dwindling fast. Speaking of dwindling fast, the selected resident, man, he is fucking falling apart. The biggest memes on the internet the last few days have been where he fell down and tried to walk up the steps in the Air Force One. He fell not once, twice, but 3 times on the way up the steps. And, a lot of people were talking about how he used to talk about when Trump, down the stairs, whatever, he fell down the stairs or slipped or something. I don't even remember that, but they were talking about it. And they heard Biden, he can't walk up the damn steps. He looks bad. I mean, he looks like complete garbage. And, the puppet masters are really getting to him. I think he's losing will on the whole thing. That's kind of my two cents about it. I don't think he really wants to be there anymore. He's just mundane and going through the motions. Worse now than he started, really. I mean, just out there. He's like in space somewhere, just not even coherent anymore. And, Harris is just biding her time. She's waiting back there. And that's the scariest thought, is that's what's next. And she's going to love to be in power. And she's going to love to run amok and do all her lefty communist friends, help them out, do whatever she can for them. And, she's one of the biggest hypocrites ever. It's all about slamming on Biden. Of course, she said, it's just a debate. It's just a debate. When the Me Too movement started and all that sexual allegations against them. And, now they got Guido up in New York's got all these allegations against him. And they're definitely trying to brush that under. Not saying much about that. So, he was getting flack for the nursing home deaths. Now he's getting flack for being just a misogynistic pig and hitting on all these women and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But Trump did it. And you guys slammed Trump forever and made it a big deal, like to grab him by the pussy thing. Well, this Cuomo's no better. And, he looks like a Guido with his pierced nipples and all that shit. I mean, That's your governor of New York. Be proud, New Yorkers. Be proud. This guy's a piece of work. And I mean, I just don't see it going anywhere. They're just gonna let him slide and let him slide, and they'll start distracting us. They've been distracting with the stimulus. They distract more with the Wu flu, which Biden came out with this. If we're all nice and good, maybe we can have backyard barbecues with some of our family. You know what? Fuck you, Joe. We're gonna do the 4th of July. We don't care. I mean, in my neck of the woods, we're doing it. My family's doing it. At least me and my wife, whoever we're around, we don't give two shits what you say. I mean, it's to the point now, where the CDC saying, well, we can give out limited freedoms to people who are vaccinated. But you still have to wear a mask, and you still have to be socially distant. It's like, guys are so full of shit. This thing, I mean, I've always tried to defend it as being a virus and this and that, and it's bad news and all this stuff. It's a fucking hoax now. I mean, it's just been beat to the ground. You're clinging on to it to keep us distracted, and it's starting to lose it's definitely losing its ability to distract. People are getting past it and over it and done with this shit. And the gun thing's been kind of silent, but the gun control is one thing, and they're going to try. And today, here was a start today. There was an active shooter in Colorado again today. So I'm figuring something's going to come out of that. They're going to want the gun control freaking again. And they had the one shooting last week, I think it was last week, where 8 people got shot. They tried to play the race card on that. Well, the suspect himself come out and said, nah, wasn't racially motivated. But they won't let that go. They're not going to let that go. And we had the trial. I mean, the trial was It's of Derek Chauvin, whatever how you pronounce his name, the knee on the neck guy, Minneapolis. And they're already fired up there. They're burning shit already, and Portland's still burning shit. I mean, these people, they're just out to create havoc. They don't care. They're all these are all the people that walk the streets at midnight, 1 a.m, whatever, screaming, people, wake up, wake up, wake up, in Portland and shit like that, and destroying the government buildings and mayor's office and all that stupid shit. I mean, they're what they are. They are whack jobs, wacky, completely out of control, and nobody's going to do nothing about it because it's just let them go. There should be uprising all over the country. I mean, right, Nancy? Is that what you said? When you don't seem to care about any of this shit. You got your money to clean your slate, and Chucky got his money to clean to balance his books. It's all about money and power. It's still the same old shit. It's why I'm beating it and doing these podcasts. They're getting depressing for me because there's nobody listening. There's nobody that seems to understand what's happening. It's the same old shit we've been arguing about forever. The abortion is another. I mean, how long have we been arguing about pro-life, pro-choice? It's been years, decades, whatever. You can organ harvest from these things, but they're still not livable. They're not living beings. Even though you can use their organs to save other human beings, but they're not human beings because they haven't been conceived or let out of the womb yet. In the 9th month, he could still go in there and chop them out and cut them up and harvest them, suck them through a tube, whatever you want to do. That's okay in this, and it's a fucked up country when you allow that to happen. I'm sorry. I know pro-choice, and they always say, well, it's about the woman's right to choose and this and that. Well, if you chose to get in that situation, now if you didn't, there was always special circumstance. Abortion's allowable. But, you most times just, you're using abortion as a contraceptive. You're fucking evil. And that's how I feel about abortion. And that's just where I'm at with that. And not a fan, and won't be a fan, and will never go that route. And it's just not going to happen. And with the kids, um, we're on the topic of kids. The non-crisis at the border. They refuse to call it in lefty land. They refuse to call it a crisis at the border. There's thousands upon thousands of people at the border, kids without their parents, with their parents. When Trump was in office, he kept them in cages. Now it's detention facilities, according to lefties. But today was kind of an eye opener for a lot of people. There was finally footage from inside one of these detention facilities. It was quite nasty. I mean, it just people wrapped up in it looked like aluminum foil. I mean, I'm sure it's some heat blankets or whatever, and then it just sprawled out all over the place on the floor, and these little cubicle looking things, and it was rough to see. It's like, well, it's not a good situation, but we can't just accept all this flood of people. They want us to vet the National Guard for the Wu flu, but they don't want to vet people coming from a third world country for the Wu flu. They think they should just be allowed in automatically, part of the United States, able to vote, blah, blah, blah. And some of these people, you look at them, and they're as big as me. And they're on their iPhone. Wow, what fucking deprived are you? I mean, how can you be that deprived? You're definitely not malnourished. You have an iPhone. So how are you destitute to where we have to let you in? And all the people wearing the shirts. Hey, Biden, please let us in. That's fucking votes for him, man. He is all good with that. He's for his party. He's going to go down as a hero because they'll rig every election from here on out with letting all the illegals just skate across the border. It's insanity in the first degree. I mean, I'm glad to see that Trump didn't leave with the CPAC speech that he had. It gave a little bit of hope back to us. But he knows that the border. I mean, immigration's a fucking privilege, and it shouldn't be used as just you can skate across the border somehow. You've got all the luxuries of the United States citizenship. So fuck all these people that have been working their ass off to get in, right? Fuck all these people that went through it the right way. And, I don't know why they want to come here at this point. I mean, if we're leaning towards socialism, you don't see people trying to get out of the United States to climb on rafts to go to Cuba because socialism is so fucking great. And communism or whatever. And it gets worse with the people we got in charge. They're a bunch of fucking pussies now. Snowflakes. It's like Obama was a big, gigantic mangina. He was a fucking wimp. And people always say, oh, no, he was an aggressive talker. He was a bullshitter. He was a good talker. He's a good talker. He did good speeches. I'm sure they wrote good speeches for him, maybe he's a good speech writer. I don't know. But he could charm the pants off anybody. He was in my line, they call it finesse speaker. I call it bullshit artist. And it's probably sell you sand in the desert. I don't know, man, but he was a smooth fucking dude, man. But he was a pussy. I mean, when you're bowing down to people and kissing their fucking ass and apologizing to people like Gaddafi, yeah, when that guy on TV called him a pussy, he was accurate. He was a pussy. He's kind of like what's his name, Prince William in there. God, what a douche canoe this motherfucker ended up being. Man, I remember the pictures of him being, oh man, in the army, like a ranger or whatever he was. he was a stud. And he was always the one I thought was the stud out of the two. His brother was kind of a dork. I mean, just like an old man. He was like an old man already. But William was the stud. And he was going to be king shit. And then he met this Megan. And then they come to America, and now he's a douche. I mean, he's a pussy. And they were on Oprah. Like, I give a fuck about Oprah, but I just heard through the grapevine. They were on there talking about how she was getting all this flack from, they pulled the race card basically, and she getting death threats and being racist against her and yada yada. It's like, cue the violins for that shit. You're for royalty where he came from. Got millions of dollars. You're talking to a fucking billionaire who tells us how oppressed black people are when she's a billionaire in this country. I mean, her and Tyler Perry are two of the biggest fucks. I mean, they've made money hand over asshole over fist. And you don't have fair shake in this country? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, the race card is unbelievable, but they shouldn't be allowed to play it. It's kind of like LeBron James. LeBron James always about how oppressed he is. Paid all that money to play a game. I don't care if you're a football player, basketball player. Go somewhere else and see if you get that kind of money to play a sport. You've not been oppressed in America. You've gotten the American dream tenfold. And a guy like LeBron James, he aggravates me. He's one of the guys that sticks in my craw. I hate that fucking guy. He's so, cocky on that. He's a ninja warrior, but he's a pussy when he plays basketball. And now he's got a high ankle sprain. It was funny because he got a high ankle sprain in the game the other day. I seen it on SportsCenter or whatnot. And he's out indefinitely. He's got this high ankle sprain. And I get high ankle sprain sucks. And playing basketball, it would suck too. Worse. You're running, jumping. Hey, I'm not saying I'm Teflon because I'm old, arthritic, and I can barely make it out of bed in the morning. This fucker's got me over a barrel millions and millions of times as an athlete. Hey, and I understand he's a great athlete. He's just a fucking loudmouth. Everything revolves around him. Every story has to be about LeBron fucking James. Well, anyway, he got this high ankle sprain, and he's out indefinitely. Well, there's this kid. I think it's Iowa. I mean, I watched most of it, and I watched the match, but I was like, I didn't know until later that this wrestler is a 125-pounder in NCAA. I'm pretty sure it's Iowa or Penn State because they were the ones winning everything. But this kid had 2 torn ACLs. Two torn ACLs. Won a national fucking championship. That to me is guts. That's pushing through pain. High ankle sprain out indefinitely. 2 ACL tears and you win the national championship, which is not easy with good ACLs. But you torn both of them and still went out there and got the job done. Now that kid's a stud. And he's doing it for free. He's not getting paid millions of dollars. This kid's doing it for free. He's just in the wrong sport, I guess. To be, millionaire. He's not going to be a millionaire being a college wrestler, of course. There's nowhere to go after that. He's not going to be in the WWE at 125 pounds. Probably end up a coach, be a damn good coach somewhere. But yeah, I just thought that was odd that I seen that. But the whole mentality of the left so far, they're all pussies, and that's what's they're hardline when they want their money, but to everybody else, the rest of the world's laughing at us. The rest of the world is laughing at who we have in charge. I mean, Biden wanted all. He talked shit to Putin. Putin said, "Let's have a debate." Now he backed down off that. You knew that was coming. That Kim Jong-un, he ain't got no fucking respect for Joe Biden. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to shooting my nukes. The Orange Man's not there. Orange Man was a little scary. He's a little intimidating. He didn't put up with our bullshit. Well, this piss pants motherfucker, he's just bowing down to everybody. And I think it was more evident than ever when they had this little summit up in Alaska with China. And China was talking to an interpreter, the girl interpreter, which made it even more demoralizing to me. I mean, not that women aren't, but I'm just saying this guy was talking and this girl was basically slapping that Secretary of State. I call it, his name Blinken, I think. But I call him Blumpkin because he's about as fucking useless as one. Basically smacking him sideways, saying, we thought America was going to be this strong presence, and that we thought they were going to go staying tough and this and that. Now we see you're just basically told them you're weak, you're pathetic, and we're basically calling them out and saying, we don't have no respect for you. Is the way I took it. It's the way a lot of people took it. Well, somewhere around the way, this Blumpkin fucker, he apologized. Oh, well, I'm sorry, we're sorry, this and that. I was like, here we go with the apologies again. Everybody seems to want to apologize. It goes back to Morgan Whalen and that Luke fucking Combs and all these cowardly they're just pussies, man. Don't apologize for being out with your buddies. Don't apologize for being in a video that had a rebel flag in it. And don't apologize for sure from the Secretary of State in the United States to a fucking communist party over some shit because they're calling you out and you apologize for getting called a bitch, basically. I mean, the liberal fucking this peace and love thing, it's liberal and all this stuff. Oh, yeah, unity. But you got the fucking other side of the coin of these people burning shit to the ground everywhere they go. Portland, Minneapolis, Seattle, whatever, they've burnt shit to the ground over and over and over again. So, but the top leaders are all big giant wimps. Unless it comes to talking to conservatives, then because now they have control of everything. They can talk smack. And, Donald's gone. Donald was our voice. Donald was our common man syndrome for me anyway. That stood up and said, no, I'm not taking this bullshit. We're not doing this. When he always, the press conferences was always the best. Was like, no, fake news. No, I'm moving on. Fake news. You're full of shit, basically. They'd say, I'm moving on past shit, blah, blah, blah. And you're not going to see, Biden's not going to get a chance to do this. The time they had, and Circle Back Girl said he's had like 40 Q&As and all this stuff. Well, then the White House, he was going to take questions one time. They cut the fucking feed to the White House. Well, supposedly this week, I think it's March the 25th, which would be, Thursday. He's supposed to have finally a press conference after 2+ months of hiding in this fucking basement and tripping up steps and staring off into la la land and losing his train of thought and everything else. He's actually supposed to have a press conference. But the softball questions are all he's going to get. They're not going to allow Newsmax to have questions. They're not going to allow OAN. It's going to be MSNBC. It's going to be CNN. It's going to be about his dogs, his cats, ice cream he likes, making sure he's okay that he fell up the steps. I mean, are you okay, Joe? I mean, did you need medical attention? Well, dumb shit. That Psaki said today, well, the steps on Air Force One could be a little tricky. Come on. Are you serious with this shit? How much can we protect the fucking doofus? He's just your figurehead. Just get rid of him already. 25th Amendment or corona him or suicide him, whatever you're going to do. Why drag it out? Why drag the inevitable out? Kamala Harris, Kamala, it's already been taking calls from foreign leaders. That's not even supposed to be allowed. I mean, that's fucking taboo. Vice president taking calls from foreign world leaders. She's taking like 3 of them, and nobody seems to fucking care. I don't know how many times I have to say that nobody cares, but they do not care. It's just free reign for the lefties. Doesn't matter. The rules are fuck the rules. We'll make the rules as we go, and that's what they've been doing. They're just spending money and printing more and spending money and printing more. The crash is going to come, and we're not going to be able to survive. I want my fucking 401k to be alive, and it's like I almost have to at this point quit my job, take my 401k out, put it in a savings account or something, take the penalty, take pension penalty, scrape together what I can and go get a different job that, I don't have a 401k. I just to have insurance. That's all I need to have insurance. But, why in the hell should I do that? Why the hell should I have to do that? But the fear is real. The fear is real with the conservatives like me. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theory guy that was hoping to God one of these fucking conspiracy theories would be true. But the worst part about it is the nightmare scenarios that I've said, the nightmare scenarios that I've seen other people say that are conspiracy theorists like me. They're all coming true right in front of our eyes, and nobody bats a fucking eye. Nobody does a damn thing. $14 million worth of kids been sold already, according to the last report on OAN at the border. I mean, this cartel's getting like $3,500 a pop now for the kids, and they're just fucking coming in droves, and there's a million kids a day go missing still over this country. To Save Our Children was a big push there right before the election. Right as the Wu flu started was the push for Save Our Children. These pedophiles are going to go down. You've seen people running for the hills, and then they start getting, they got suicided. Like Isaac Cappy. He was naming names. Got suicided. The one I'm really surprised hasn't got knocked off yet is Ricky Gervais. After the monologue he did at the Golden Globes last year, I thought, man, this guy's not going to live long. Because he was, Ronan Farrow and all that stuff. It was a classic. One of the best monologues I've ever seen, because he called him out. And then you seen the hightail, and some of them hightailed out. I mean, Tommy Hanks, fucking Grease. He's a major movie star in America. He's going to move to Greece. Yeah, it just didn't seem right. It never did then, and it doesn't now. But all the other stuff that names that have been named, let's go back to, the Epstein. I mean, we all know he didn't kill himself. We're not stupid. He was planned, executed if he's dead. I mean, the conspiracy theorist in me says he's probably not dead. They probably took him off the hook. Said the only way we can get you out of this, Jeff, is to say you're dead. And maybe he is, but I mean, conspiracy theories are just that. They're conspiracy theories. So he might be living the high life. Like, here comes the next question. Ghislaine Maxwell. She's been in prison for a while now, right? Has she? Is she still there? Nobody really knows, because nobody's saying a fucking word. Nobody's saying a word about Epstein. All the, Prince Andrew, all these people, the highfalutin people that were there. Bill Gates was on the Lolita Express. He went to Pedophile Island, and now he's all of a sudden a doctor, expert in vaccines and population control. And we're all listening to this fuck like he knows something important. I mean, they got to Fauci, and he might have been a rat bastard before, but I mean, he at least started out telling the truth when he said we don't have nothing to worry about. But then they got to him, and they spun him. And now he just flip-flopped. And the only one that has any balls to confront him has been Rand Paul. Rand Paul tries to go on him. And Fauci uses his little twist of words, it's comparable, blah, 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 and Rand Paul's like, if you got a vaccine and you got all your vaccines and you can't walk around without a mask still. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Because, well, there's different variants. Bullshit. And with that, I remember one of the executive orders was, that I thought was ridiculous, and I've commented on, was, old Sleepy Joe saying that you can't call the Wu flu the China virus. They're all pissed off when, they'd be pissed off about Wu flu, I'm sure. They were pissed off when Trump, most of the time he called it the China virus or the Wuhan virus. Everybody did at first, and it was acceptable until they found out, we could use this against the conservatives and say they're being xenophobic and, they're hating Asian Americans and they're hating that, blah, blah, blah. Same old bullshit, trying to make us out to be this racist fucking mongering group of fucking people, 74 million of us. So they're spinning this all, the executive order that says you can't call it the China virus. Like, that's a wasted fucking piece of paper, but here's my question with that. Okay, you don't want me to call it the China virus, okay. But we came out with a strand from Great Britain, and then another one from South Africa, and another one from South America. But you don't have no problem calling this the South American strand, or the South African strand, or the Great Britain strand, because it came from those countries. But we can't say China virus, because you know why? The same as old Blumpkin there in the fucking summit. We're scared of China. I'm not scared, but the left, they're not scared of anybody but China, because China runs the roost, runs the roost. And China's got it fucking made again. Now they're trying sanctions today. And what kind of fucking sanction? China's going to say, yeah, fuck you. We're not paying any sanctions. You had us over a barrel, and Trump was getting it done, and you guys wanted to go to this fucking degenerate old man, and your lefty agendas, your AOCs, your Omars, your pathetic fucking excuse for a House and a Senate, leader with Chucky and Nancy. We're going to kick your ass now, is basically what China's saying. We're going to fucking run you into the ground. And, I'd really be interested to hear a phone call between China, North Korea, and Russia, because they could really do us fucking over now. They could bend us over 10 times backwards, and Biden's not going to do anything. He's not going to fucking do anything. He'd rather bomb Syria, the little fucking pissy country, and say, we're not going to have, right away, foreign war, hadn't had a foreign war in 4 years. Fucking wasn't even in there 30 days, fucking bombing Syria. We bombed Syria before we got a fucking stimulus for this Wu flu shit. And the bad thing about China, Rand Paul made this point the other day. Well, he made a statement that basically we're borrowing money from China to pay China with interest on it. So we're paying them twice. How the fuck does that economically sound? I don't know. But China's running the shit. They're running the show. Biden's on his way out. He's a decrepit old man. He's about to bite the dust, one way or another. If it's not the 25th Amendment or the Wu flu that gets him, it could be old age at this point. Dementia's got to be setting in. You can just tell. But anyway, I don't know what else to ramble about today. So it's not good, people. It is not a good time. But we got to keep hoping that things will change. Right now, it's a pretty fucked up situation. So, my friends, Once again, always trust and believe in your own convictions. And please, please, for the love of God and country, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on another episode of the Zero Hours. Peace out.